Hi guys, and welcome to All About the Philippines. Now, this is another update on our little simple Filipino style house we're building in the Philippines, and it's fair to say we've had quite a few challenges in recent times. So, what I'd like to say is firstly that it is a very difficult process building in the Philippines now, and especially if you're like us and you're trying to get this built when you're overseas. We're lucky enough to have a couple of sisters, relatives, to be helping in this process, but to find quality, reliable builders is proving to be quite difficult at this stage. Now, this little house here that you can see, um, this was supposed to have been finished on the 14th of May. Now, of course, we didn't expect it to be ready on that exact date as it's being built in the Philippines, and we all know about Filipino time, etc. Where we're up to at this stage is we've only just started building again, so there's been 3 weeks when nothing's really been happening. And the reason for that is that we've found the builder that was we originally employed to do this, or the engineer we employed to do this with his team. Really, the building was very substandard. I mean, more so than what you'd find in the Philippines, through various reasons, which we will cover in another video. And the actual engineer actually just didn't come back. Him and his workers didn't come back, and they've taken money and off they've gone. So we're going to be exposing that builder in a video coming up in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. The guy does live and work in Pangasinan in the Philippines, around the Urdaneta area, and we will be exposing him for his poor work practices and basically scamming, because this guy has actually done it to other people as well, we've found out. So you've got to be very careful when you're employing someone in the Philippines. And look, unless you know people, or you go through a big company where of course you're going to pay a lot more money, then it's hard to know. It's really hard to know. What we could have done in hindsight was maybe go to the municipality and check if there's been any complaints prior to hiring that guy. That would have been a smart move, but we didn't do that, and now I'm not saying we're going to lose a heap of money, but we've lost a little bit because we've now had to employ other guys to come in and complete the job. Now, I had done a lot of listening to other people's YouTube videos prior to commencing this building project, and I was very wary about using builders in the Philippines. I've heard various stories about how difficult it is to have people there building good quality stuff, doing it on time, working hard through the day, especially if you're not there to supervise them. But after consultation with my wife and sisters, we decided to go down this avenue of building this house, mainly because it is a small house, and we felt we could find local workers that would do a good job. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way for us so far, but we have now got some new guys working, and they do seem to know what they're talking about. They've actually corrected some structural defaults was in this building. They were using, for a start, that the wire, that the steel you can see there on the corners and throughout, they were only using 10 millimeter steel when they should be using 16, which is much thicker and much stronger to hold the house up. And there's various other parts of that wall that weren't very structurally sound. So these new guys are correcting that now, and hopefully we will get a good quality house by the time it's finished. As I say, it's only a small traditional Filipino style house. It's nothing flash, but we do want it to be able to stand up for quite some years to come. And the way that first guy was building it wouldn't have happened. It would have collapsed. And you'll see in my next video on this, you'll see where a wall has actually fallen down. So from my point of view, would I build again in the Philippines? No, I don't think so. There are other options which I was looking at initially. One was because we're not looking for a big, huge house. Of course, if you wanted a big sort of house, then you probably get the big companies to build it. But short of that, just for a small, traditional Filipino style house, I think there's a couple of options which would have been much easier and you could have avoided all the building. The first option, obviously, in the Philippines is they do make bamboo houses where they have, a couple of rooms in there, and they cost around about, I think, around about 2,500–3,000 Australian dollars for those. Now that's one option because it's all built. It comes, they put it in your land, and it's just about ready to live in straight away. So there's no mucking around with builders and worrying if they're doing the right thing, if they're building correctly, if they've got the permits. If it takes a lot of worry away. Now, obviously, there's a downside to a bamboo house. If a typhoon comes through, it could knock the roof off or maybe even knock the house over. But because you've only paid a small amount for it, you could probably put another one up, I guess, if you've got that in your budget. But if you're looking for something a bit more structurally sound, then there's things like the expandable houses, which come, I think they're around about $10,000 to $15,000. They come completely built and they expand out. So it's like a storage container, like a steel storage container, but they've fitted them out to make them like a house, and you open them up and create more space. So that would be a more structurally sound option as well. So there was those two options that we did consider, but unfortunately we went for this option, which has proved, as I say, to have a lot of challenges at this point. So that's where we're up to with this house, guys. As I say, we will have a video coming up which I will expose this guy working around Urdaneta area in Pangasinan, and I think everybody should know to watch out for him because we're not the first ones that he's done this sort of shoddy work for, or just gone and taken the money and not come back. So what you see there is we paid him 139,000 pesos to get that far. Now, of course, we are trying to do what we can to recover some of that money, but it's probably not looking too good. We'll see how we go. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all your support. Don't forget to leave your comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell. And of course, share the video around with anyone who may enjoy it and with all your networks. Thanks again, guys. Take care, and bye for now.